Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Another day, another drama, and Jeffree Star finally speaks out after a couple weeks of silence on social media. If you haven't seen my previous video titled James Charles Getting Called Out for This, I will link that in a card up over here as well as down in the description down below, so definitely make sure you go and check that out as well. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on into it. So finally, after a few weeks of being off social media, Jeffree Star finally comes back to YouTube with a video called Doing What's Right. Now, I've watched the video at least 4 times, making sure I hear everything, making sure I don't miss everything, and I'm going to go ahead and break it down and share my opinions on what I feel that he is saying, things that I agree with, and things that I don't. In the beginning of the video, he starts off by saying that he hasn't been on social media because he was taking time to self-reflect and to take time to process the entire situation that he was involved in, things that he has done, and everything like that. Now, I've talked about this in several of my lives when we have talked about Jeffree Star and Jeffree Star when he goes off on Twitter, and I've said multiple times, especially when it's related to the brand Jeffree Star Cosmetics, that he needs to have a PR team. He needs to have somebody who handles that side of the business for him so that way he doesn't have to do it himself. And people are tweeting all these things at him and then he just has enough and he just claps back at somebody. So for him to actually stop and take a moment and take himself off of social media to understand and process and think about what he did, I am totally fine with. And then when he's ready, come back and address everything. Now, in this video, do I think that he really addressed everything? No. Do I think that he glossed over some things? Yes. And do I think that he put some things into this video that he didn't even need to bring up? And we'll get into those in just a minute. He goes on to say that a year ago when he made the video, never doing this again, he meant it and he's not going to do it again. And then he basically says, did I mess up? Yes, I'm human and I'm sorry, but no, I'm not coming back here. I'm not going to expose everybody. And then he throws a little bit of shade at Tati by saying, you know, there's people that are saying, oh, Jeffree Star is going to come back and he's going to expose everybody. And he says that that's not who he is. But we all do know about that video that is circulated from his Snapchat where he says that he has receipts on everybody and that's why they know to keep their mouth shut. Does he need to expose people? No. But does he have information on people where he believes that they will keep their mouth shut and not talk about everything? I believe so. He also then goes on to say that he's not going to be exposing text messages and stuff like that and that he is over it and that his lawyers are addressing everything behind the scenes. So I'm starting to wonder, does he possibly have some kind of lawsuit in the works? Possibly, I'm assuming, between him and Tati, because Tati did bring up him by name in her video. So I would assume that if there is some kind of lawsuit in the works, it would be between them. But again, that's my assumption, that's my opinion. It's not fact, it's just what I'm assuming based off of what he is saying and based off what Tati has said in the past. He then goes on to what I believe is throw more shade at Tati, where he says, you can't go and try to take somebody down and destroy somebody's career, and then when that doesn't work, turn around and try to take more people down with you. I'm assuming that that's directed towards Tati, because last year Tati is the one who released the Bi Sisters video, which is what started the downfall of James Charles last year. And then obviously James Charles came back with his response video, which obviously switched the tides back in James Charles' favor. And so now from what I can understand that Jeffree's saying here is that since Tati wasn't able to bring James Charles down, she's now switched her focus to try to bring down Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star. That's what I'm understanding from what he's saying there. But also at the same time, it doesn't sit right with me for you to be trying to throw somebody else back onto the bus again when you were technically still involved in the situation. You admit that you were involved in it. Did you say it was stupid and you shouldn't have been involved in it? Yes, you did. But you were involved in the situation, whether you want to admit it or not at this point. So to say that she's trying to now take down you and Shane when she couldn't take down James, I don't know. I think that's a little weird to be putting into this kind of a video. I don't really feel like if you're going to be doing what's right, you shouldn't be passing the blame onto somebody. And then one of the funniest things that he says in this whole video is that we all have to be accountable for our own actions. And if I forget to hold myself accountable for my own actions, please remind me. Okay, so he just said in his video, please tell me if I'm not holding myself accountable for my own actions. Well, guess what? Since this video has been published, about 30 minutes to an hour after this video went live, Jeffree Star disabled the comments on this video. So he just told people, hey, hold me accountable if I'm not holding myself accountable. Well, how are people on YouTube supposed to hold you accountable if you disable the comments? Obviously, people can go to Twitter and go to Instagram and leave comments under his post, but they can be deleted there, they can be turned off there, they can be hidden. But if you're telling people to hold you accountable, then don't disable the comments. You're really just making yourself look like a giant hypocrite when you just said in your video to have people hold you accountable and now they have no way on YouTube of holding you accountable. He then did go on to say that he should have just picked up the phone and called James Charles and said, hey, this is the stuff that I'm hearing about you behind the scenes. Is any of this true? Is it not? I just wanted to let you know that this is what I was hearing because some of this stuff does not sit right with me. And if it's not true, then maybe you need to be careful because it looks like some people might be trying to plan something or possibly bring you down. And I just wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that this is what I've been hearing. And then he does finally go on to apologize to James Charles and say that he is sorry for what he has done. Now, here's the thing, though, is that he literally just went on to Mom's Basement's podcast with Keemstar and Banks and Colossal is Crazy and offered to play a quote-unquote voice memo that he has that's allegedly a victim of James Charles. Now, this was only a few months ago. What are we in? So, April, May, June, July. It was only 3 months ago that he was offering to play this voice memo for some other people. And yes, I know that he went off of social media after Tati released her video, but come on, you were still a year later circulating this kind of information. Like, why would you be offering that kind of information to anybody? The first thing that you should have done once you got that voice memo is reached out to James Charles and say, hey, I got this voice memo from somebody and it's kind of not sitting right with me. I want to play it for you so that way you can hear it and then you can tell me your thoughts on it. You can tell me if it's true or not. If it is true, I'm going to have to turn this over to the police because this is not right with me. And if it is not true, I just want you to be aware of it because it sounds like maybe somebody's planning to do something to try to bring you down, to try to paint you in a different light than what you actually are. You don't hold on to that information and circulate it to drama channels and then offer to play it on a podcast. He then goes on to say in the video that he has never committed a crime and that he has never been in jail. But there's a video that's circulating around Twitter where he said back when he was doing music, I don't even know how long ago this was, probably like, I don't know, at least 7-8 years ago, where he has been arrested 3 different times and has been to jail. So, okay, are you lying now? Or were you lying back then to seem more punk rock when you were doing your music? So I don't know if you're just trying to lie now to make yourself seem better, or if you are getting caught about lying back then. He also says that he was being gaslit behind the scenes, and I'd be a total hypocrite if I said, okay, well, Jeffree, you can't be gaslit because you're the one who allegedly instigated all of this. But if Jeffree wouldn't have ever been sent that voice memo, would any of this have ever happened? So that voice memo could have been sent to Jeffree. If it's false or true, that was what was used allegedly by Tati to basically to start Dramageddon 2. And then one of the hot topics that people are discussing about this video is the fact that Jeffree Star brought up Breonna Taylor, brought up Elijah McClain, the whole BLM movement as a whole. People are not very happy about this because he's talking about this on his apology video, basically. And they are also saying, okay, well, you should have at least included some kind of links to petitions and stuff. And I have to absolutely agree with that. Now, do I think it's something that should be in this video? I'm not 100% sure on. But if you're going to bring something up as serious as that in this video that you know is going to be viewed by millions of people, then I believe that you should be including some kind of links to petitions and stuff like that in the description box if you really want to see some kind of change. Then you should also be giving people the resources they need to help try to make change. He then goes on to double down on his relationship with Shane and basically says that we are fine, I love him to death, he's like family, and we're always going to support each other, and for you to think that my silence was anything but support was silly, we are doing just fine. But he does go on to say that he does not agree with Shane's past actions, just like he believes that Shane does not agree with his past actions. And then the last 2.5 minutes of the video is basically Jeffree talking about his brand and how inclusive his brand has always been from the beginning. Now, I do 100% agree with Jeffree that yes, his brand has always been inclusive from the beginning. He's always had people of color in his ad campaign since the beginning. He doesn't discriminate against people. It doesn't matter what their orientation is. It doesn't matter what their gender is. He does include a wide variety of people in his campaigns. So yes, I will agree with him 100% on that. And same thing with his concealers. Yes, his concealers do have a very large shade range, which is awesome. But at the same time, he then goes on to say that there's going to be a lot of stuff coming from Jeffree Star Cosmetics this year and that August is going to be huge. Now, if you've been following Jeffree Star for a while, you know that he's been talking about doing a foundation for a long time, and he's also had a foundation name trademarked, the Mannequin Foundation, for a long time as well. So I'm believing that he is going to be launching that foundation in August, which is why he's also at this point talking about how inclusive that his brand has always been. Now, I don't know how I feel about him talking about his brand in this whole situation because this video video was supposed to be talking about doing what's right, but I guess I kind of understand where he's trying to say, hey, my brand's always been inclusive and we're going to continue to be inclusive, so I can kind of see why he didn't include it, but at the same time, also like, did this really need to be in here? But I don't know, that's just what I'm feeling. But that is everything that I have for today's video, so I'd love to know what you guys think about the entire situation down in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, I greatly appreciate it if you could hit that big red subscribe button and hit the bell icon and set your notifications to all so you'll be notified of every time I upload a new video. Alright, that's everything for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!